Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Kentucky Route Zero. So, tonight we are doing Act 3 and Interlude 3 here and there along the Echo. But let's start with Act 3. Oh, oh, whoops. I forgot to set the audio. There we go. Let's restart Act 3. I assume that's Lysette. Radio announcer. 83 and sunny now. It looks like it's going to get up to about 101 by late afternoon in Louisville and 103 in E-Town. Not a cloud in sight, so get out those parasols. Haha. Major accident just ahead of the Bardstown exit. So if you're headed to work on 31, you are late, my friend. Haha. Sugar? Just a little. I forgot how you take your coffee. I'm tired. I didn't sleep well. Those old horses of Ira's used to keep me up. I heard you yelling. Bad dreams? We were up on a roof, Ira and I, and Charlie, eating a light supper. I was drinking sweet tea. Charlie was reading. We were surrounded by other houses, closely packed, huge sidewalks. It must have been what's that word? A city? That's it, I'm sure. Below us, a group of people were gathered, standing quietly. A man was reading from a book. I asked Ira about the weather. Would it rain on Tuesday, or when would the sun set? Something like that. He wouldn't answer me. Charlie stood up, and Ira told him to watch his step, and then I remembered. I woke up before I could stop him. Charlie was alone on that roof. I guess he was. He was so bright, his teacher said. What was the word? Imaginative. That's it. Hey, Doug Nozzle. How could I forget? It wasn't his fault. It wasn't anyone's fault, Conway. That's what we mean when we say it's an accident. Sure. Yeah, so this is the opening scene here, Dog Nozzle. I guess it's a flashback. Lysette's talking with Conway. It looks like her kid, Charlie, died from falling off a roof. Well, we have a mail order delivery today. Might be a long drive. I hope the truck can hold up. Long drive? What makes you think so? They sent it in by mail? That truck will outlive us all. I hope you're right. I'm glad you'll keep it. Ira would have wanted you to have it. It's been running since Charlie was born. Ira took me to the hospital in that truck. So did you once, when you fainted. My hero. So yeah, uh yeah, end of Act 2 was the doctor yeah, we arrived at the doctor's house and Conway got some medication. There was the interlude after that, which was essentially a play about taking place in a bar about this woman wanting to get out of there. Another woman whose husband is on the road and cheating on her, or she thinks he's cheating on her. The bartender who's lost everything, and the other woman, the first woman I mentioned, was wanted to leave and leave her parents who were drunks and ran up a big bar tab. She called them parasites. Oh, look who's here. Hi, Graham. Say hi. Here, let me... I'm just cropping this to getting closer on him. Oh, it's hard to see him. He's blown out by the sunlight. Yeah. Hi, Graham. Eh. All right, and enlarge that. There we go. Yeah, there you are, Graham. Okay, there we go. This is the first. I just moved to a new apartment, and this is the first time having him on cam, so I had to make sure it was centered properly. Okay, so long drive. Like set. They said they couldn't come in person. Maybe just a shut in. I don't recognize the address. The order is all. I'm sure we can fill it. Yeah, he's got a good window here. Guess that'll be the last. Guess it will be the last act of Lysette's Antiques. The oh, what's the word? Finale? Maybe. No, that's not the word. I just need to think a bit. More coffee or something. I've had too much. It'll come to you. Maybe. Not sure anymore. It seems inevitable there will start to be words that I lose forever. What are those boxes you set in the hallway? Those are Charlie's old books. Oh, I thought we could look at them together. That sounds nice. Cora should be here soon. Will you wait with me? Be nice to her. Sure, Liz. Or Lice, or Liz. I'll wait with you. There's your traffic and weather on the fives. That's every 10 minutes. Brought to you by the Consolidated Power Company. Stick around for Old Kentucky Home with Kate, helping you turn your humble home into a mansion. After this. His leg. But that's only if you make a late payment on a follow-up visit. I think everything went well enough here that they'll only want to bill for... Oh, he's awake. How do you feel, old man? All fixed up? Truman says you might be a bit misty coming out of it, so... What time is it? It's been about 2 hours. Feel like I got some rest. Good. How about that leg? How's your leg feeling? Yeah, that's the important part. Conway shifts his leg a bit in the chair, testing it. Well? Yeah, I promise you that that matters. This is not just, oh, it's just his leg's just bones for a visual gag. It it matters. I promise you. You didn't see it at the last time, but at the very end of the Act 2 interlude, the entertainment, they were talking about the people from Hard Times Whiskey who are weird in a way that seems to scare people. And at the very end, there was one of those people, I assume it's from Hard Times, who looked like that, except all over. This isn't my leg. It seems better, but it wasn't worth it. It was the heat. The shingles were cracked in the sun, and one of them slipped out under his feet. This isn't my leg. Not your... Of course it's your leg. It looks wrong. You replaced it. It doesn't feel like it belongs to me anymore. It doesn't feel like it belongs to me anymore. I haven't encountered this reaction before, but it's not totally unheard of. I read a paper about something like this last year. It can happen for a lot of reasons. Neurological, psychological, social. I'm sure it won't persist in your case. Your thoughts and feelings are probably still a little nebulous from the Neurotenol TM. That's totally normal. It'll pass. I wouldn't recommend driving, at least for another hour or two, regardless. Yeah, it's the same people. Because keep mentioning they look weird, and you'll see where this goes. It is actually, like, weirdly super important. Conway stares remotely at his leg. Let's talk about a few things you should be aware of. Recovery, rehabilitation, and side effects. I should have plenty of resting time coming up soon. Oh, I'm used to a few side effects. How long am I going to be recovering? Well, at your age, I want to be clear. You should expect lingering effects of the injury for more or less the rest of your life. Don't immerse it fully in water. Avoid extremes of temperature. I'd stay away from dusty roads and mountain lions as much as possible. Dusty roads? Yeah, dust could be pretty dangerous. If too much accumulates, you can expect some severe shocks. Yeah, and, I'm just thinking about that, and you're talking about that, those people, and it is such a good, way, a good example of how this game is written. Because I think the chapters of this game came out across, 7 years from, like, 2013 to 2020, and it doesn't feel like it. Everything is set up and pays off wonderfully. Best thing you can do is keep it clean and free of debris. What do I clean it with? Only clean your leg with a soft cloth, moisten with water or isopropyl alcohol. You'll definitely want to avoid abrasive agents like detergents or other solvents. So, do you have any questions? Anything about the bill that didn't make sense? I don't mean to rush you, but I have an early fishing trip. I don't want to think about that bill right now. Sure. Well, you can go over it later. If you have any questions, there's a phone number on the bottom where you can reach the Consolidated Power Company. They handle all the billing. I wouldn't put it off too long if I were you. Oh, one more thing. Don't be alarmed if you experience any side effects of the Neurotenol TM. Typically, we see daydreaming, deja vu, pensiveness, fugue states, irregular perception of time. About 15% of patients report a generalized sensation of lateness. Nothing to be alarmed about, just keep it in mind. Thanks for your help. Julian's outside. We can head back to your truck. Act 3, Scene 1. Museum of Dwellings. Ah, the effects on his leg are so good. How are the drugs treating you? I feel a little distracted. Hey, it's okay, buddy. Oh, it's okay. Hi, Graham. You're probably pretty tired too. I usually feel more tired after a late night nap. Yeah, yeah, it does sound. Neripnol does sound like a takeoff, a rip off of Rohypnol. The ending is conspicuous. Yeah, it's supposed to be a prescription drug, and I don't know anything about Rohypnol. Hey, you ever take anything for that? Caffeine pills or it's all or nothing for me. Oh, right. They probably tell you to steer clear of all that stuff, huh? Yeah, I guess you never know. My folks had a peculiar relationship with medicine. We almost never had a regular doctor or health insurance or anything like that. Our immigration stuff was a mess for most of my childhood. So we only qualified for state programs in small patches before something or other would get contested. And we learned to just pile on dentist appointments and stuff in those short windows. If a cut got infected or her migraines were too much to handle, mom would talk to so and so who knew so and so, usually another minor, and end up with some pills. Instead of medical advice, every pill came with gossipy anecdotal warnings and superstitions, like all this lore that came with it. Like magic. Dangerous. Mysterious. Weaver's folks couldn't help. Yeah, they had pretty good health care through the university for a while there. A couple times they'd swing something, so I got a bit of whatever Weaver needed. In high school, Weaver got these pills to help her focus. She was so smart, but always going off in different directions. Mind racing, like five conversations going on in her head at once, and you're lucky if even one of them is with someone in the room, you know? So she had these pills, and they seemed to help. I was struggling in school too, failing my history class. She offered to share the pills. Did it help? At first, yeah, it helped a lot. I had a kind presence and clarity of purpose that I've never really had otherwise. I didn't want to stop taking them. One day I was sitting on my bed, my notebook was open next to me on top of the textbook, and I was holding a pen in my hand. I remembered this moment from several years before. It came up so suddenly, with such precision, I couldn't put it out of my mind. I felt I had to stay with it until I'd recalled the whole thing perfectly. It was just a tiny, nothing moment. My mom patching up the side of a birdcage, winding some spare wire around the frame to reinforce it. I was fixated on that image and that sound, the cage kind of bending and twanging as she worked on it. Rapping and nodding, scraping copper against paint like bowing a rubber violin with a railroad tie. My parents came back from a triple shift and found me still sitting there on the edge of my bed, pen in my hand, delirious with thirst, patching that birdcage with a 1,000 yard stare. Ooh. Guess the rain stopped. It'll be earthworms all over. Hope there's nothing in the roads. Could be dangerous. Better drive slowly. I guess there's nothing else to do here. Let's go. So, what's the plan here? Head back to the zero, I guess? I hope these are the right files. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're what Lula was asking for, but it was kind of a mess in that storage facility. How do we get back there, though? The entrance to the farmhouse was gone. Let's ask at the gas station if he knows another route. Sure, okay. Worth a shot. They move on. Truck's engine sputters and dies as Conway guides it carefully off the road next to a fallen tree. Act 3, Scene 2. A tree. Yes, Dog Nozzle, that was really cool. Where the Museum of Dwellings was all about people, them talking with us. Not, we don't hear the actual words. Nothing to be done. Just won't start up again. Damn, you had this truck long? I bought it used a ways back. I wonder how old it was then. You. Wait, is this why you always leave your truck running? Lysette's is up on a hill, so I get the picture. Um, anyway, do you know this area? Anyone around here that could give us a hand? Looks like a road crew's been out here. Hey, we should call someone. Do you know a good towing company? Yep, Lucky Boot Collision Towing. Here's their card. Lucky Boot. All right, I'll give them a call. I hope I can get a signal out here. Shannon speaks into the large brick cell phone held up to her ear. Hi, hello. We've got an old, I want to say diesel, old truck just stalled out. Inaudible, irritable, inaudible, sleepy, or inaudible, confused. Inaudible and sleepy. Did I wake you? Your card says open 23 hours a day. Inaudible accusatory, inaudible inquisitive, or inaudible suspicious. Accusatory. Well, isn't that convenient? You just put that on there for plausible deniability? For what? Inaudible apologetic, forceful, obtuse. No, it's okay. We just need to get to an auto shop and get this taken care of. Inaudible wistful, maudlin, or concerned. Are you. Is this a bad time? Pragmatic, meticulous, neighborly. Pragmatic. Right. Yeah, thanks. Okay, it's. Where are we? We're out off 65. It's kind of pulled up by this tree that fell over. Placating, specific, or specific. That's actually a pretty accurate description of it. Yeah. Hanging over the power lines just like that. Did you see it go down? Submissive, indulgent, or assertive? Assertive. Okay, whatever you need to do. How long do you think you'll be? Silence. Radio music. Distant traffic sounds. Silence. Hello? Hey, Graham. He's back. Are you bored? Sure, but I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind either. Let's play a game. How about 20 questions, or what would you like to play? You can tell the future with this little tree branch. It's pretty easy. We just break off all the little sticks in each section and count through the different things that could happen. Okay, what should we ask? It should be about you. I can't do both the counting out and the questions. What kind of bed will I sleep in the night? What kind of job will I have next? How will I travel in the future? What kind of job will I have next? Ezra snaps the smaller branches away one at a time, counting out possibilities. Doctor, lawyer, taxman, driver, driver. Okay, what else? What kind of bed will I sleep in tonight? Ezra snaps the smaller branches away one at a time, counting out possibilities. King size, queen size, twin size, bunk, bunk. These other branches are too bare. Don't worry about it too much. It's just a bunch of sticks. Oh, blue. How long do you think we'll be waiting here? Oh, it's Ezra talking to Blue. I don't mind. I have a lot to think about. I guess I always do. I'm a thinker, all right. Think they're on their way. Guess we have some time to kill. Pretty grim place to be stuck. I wonder what happened to the tree, I mean. Maybe it was just old. You know what used to happen to old trees out in the forest? Wildfire would come through and clear them all out. It made room for the new trees. But then people built houses, and we can't have fires going all the time. We keep putting them out. Now we have all these old trees choking out the saplings, starving the young trees for resources, just clinging to life until snap. And then some road crew comes by and blasts the stump with dynamite. I think I'll take a look at that radio of yours. Maybe I can get it going again. No point just standing around. His leg seems to be better, at least. He's walking better. How's it looking? The leads are badly corroded, but I'm making progress. That's what I like about working on electronics. It gets easier as you go on, or you just get used to it. Almost there. Look at the trees with the sky. Johnny, is this the right way? I don't recognize these trees. Junebug! What's to recognize? Just a bunch of trees. Junebug was mentioned in Interlude 2 a lot. She is they called her the entertainment. I believe she's a singer. She's a musician. Just, the trees are so quiet, right? Usually you'd hear birds, wind, squirrel, or something. Turn your ears down and focus on the radio, Cricket. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm a little bored. I'll work some chord progressions in my head for a while or something. Yeah, they're musicians. We're behind. Is the bike kind of dragging a bit tonight? We've stripped our gear down pretty bare already. If only we had some trash to jettison. You know you'd miss me. You're the good kind of trash, Cricket. Oh ho, we should write a song about it. A fugue for solo guitar, a dirge for drums and voice. Very avant-garde. Johnny singing, more than all silver and gold of this earth. What's that? I don't know. I think I heard it on the radio. What's on your mind, Cricket? Or nervous about the set? Yeah, I guess. No, we're good. We know how to play. Just, then what? Just hang out at the bar, I guess. Oh yeah, Harry will be great company, harping about the late nights and his bottom line. Yeah, Harry was the bartender in second interlude. Break disc. They look like they could use some help. You gonna fix it up for them, Johnny? Oh, I don't know a wrench from a cattle prod. I thought maybe you... I guess it's up to some good Samaritan. Someone will stop eventually. Someone with nowhere else to be. You know, we're already late. So we better keep moving. I just mean, what's another few minutes? Fine, just for a few minutes, though. They're the best. And hey, maybe if they're not busy, they can fill some seats at the gig. You know, if no one's there, Harry will try and bilk us on our fee. Was that him? Who? Um, Lucky, oh, the tow company? No. Yeah, they're too fast for a truck. I bet they're getting chased by something. Maybe they just have somewhere important to be. Definitely getting chased by something. Junebug to Johnny. Stay here. To Ezra. Careful. He's wicked with strangers. Ha, you. You didn't have to stop. We've got a tow coming. Hear that, Cricket? We didn't have to stop. Oh, why'd we stop? That's a good question. These folks seem to have a certain handle on the situation. So, really, you didn't have to stop. Great. Sure, sure, something like that. Listen, we've got two questions for you folks. What kind of people do you take us for? I mean, how do we strike you? Not sure I follow. What kind of temperament do you think we have? What kind of work would you say we do? Guess some kind of art thing, maybe? Astronauts or let's go with Ezra. Astronauts or aliens? I always said you fell from heaven, ma'am. Johnny. Otherworldly. It's unmistakable. Now, here's another question for you. Do you like music? Do you like music? Well, I said used to sing in taverns on the weekend. Beautiful stuff. Sometimes I like to leave the radio dialed between stations. I don't like music, but I do like sounds. Of course you do. Say, they should come to our gig. What an idea. Right now? Right now. Just headed over there on this baby. The Weird Vector. That's what we call our bike. We call it the Weird Vector because the front wheel's a little loose. We'd be very much obliged. See, we have a regular booking tonight, and, well, we're running late. Very late. That's what I told them. Now, the old man who runs this venue, Harry Esperanza, is a notorious withholder. If we don't get a few bodies in the crowd, well, he'll go all penny pinching on us. Just a short set. We only have one song prepared. You'll come to the gig, won't you? Of course we will. To Johnny. Of course they will. Junebug. Do you believe we almost didn't stop? The Blue. Hungry old lady? I think I've got a crust in the sidecar here. After all, it's so late. Well, it's all said and done. We stopped. That's all that matters. Our gig's at an old tavern called the Lower Depths. It's over there by Old Charlie Moran Highway, just east off 65. We usually take a right off the interstate around the petting zoo. Johnny likes the petting zoo. I do like the petting zoo. Now, let's see about that truck of yours. I feel certain we can get it running. Oh, let's check Equus Oils. Act 3, Scene 3. Equus Oils. Hey, Joseph. Oh, that's Junebug. Whenever she walks, she makes that like robot noise. Truck sounds like it's running kind of rough there. Better keep an eye on it. We had a little engine trouble, but it's Junebug. Nothing we couldn't handle. Joseph Conway. think you left the radio on. This is the real thing. Live. Well, damn, you sound just like you do on the radio. We've got one of your tapes I picked up at a truck stop. Somewhere in the back there. You met a friend of yours named Lula. Oh, yeah, I should have guessed you would. Did she say anything about me? Not really. Oh, well, I guess that was a long time ago. Better get going. Yeah, watch when Junebug moves. They are ready to leave. Okay. Okay, to the lower depths. Over by Charlie Moran Highway, just east off 65. Take a right off 65 around the petting zoo. Petting zoo is closed. Tavern. Act 3, Scene 4. The lower depths. Good name for a bar. Hard times served. Hard times whiskey. Feels a little like home, huh? But I wish it didn't. Well, we can't control... Well, can't control your feelings, right? Gotta keep focused here, Blue. Got to keep focused. Kind of late. Are you sure they're open? Sure they're open. This is one of those places. Let's head on in. We are not saints, but we've kept our appointment. How many people can boast as much? That's lovely, ma'am. Who said it? Poet. Yeah, what is with that? I don't know what it is. Ma'am, I hate to say it. Cupboard is bare. Have some vision, Cricket. We've got 1, 2, 4 patrons. Harry doesn't count. Well, we've done more with less. What kind of music do you play? It's like Cyrano Cole meets Ike Towner, but with a woman lead and the keyboards are kind of ambient whisper wave. A little bit more reverb. There's some Dolly Crown in there too, like the early stuff before she joined the Sheet Swingers. Better drum programming though. Whisper wave. Yep, got it. I think he gets it, ma'am. Oh, he gets it. Sandwich. A rough brick between two pieces of stale bread sits in the center of the table, surrounded by a ring of undisturbed dust. Brick sandwich. Goggles. A bulky set of black goggles sits on the edge of the table, next to an ashtray, a newspaper, and a few empty glasses. Huh. What is it? I guess... I don't know. Can I tell you a horrible secret? I never wear eye protection in the shop. It's dangerous, I know, but I'm always looking back and forth from my oscilloscope to whatever I'm working on. The scope has this peculiar kind of hardboard or glow that I just... Well, I've never found a pair of goggles or glasses that doesn't smear out that glow. At best, the lens softens everything so you can't quite find the edges. Ezra flips eagerly through the jukebox's catalog of songs. What do you think? I don't know how to play this game. All I'm pouring tonight is Hard Times whiskey. Got any coffee going? No coffee. Hard times whiskey. Yelling towards exit. Say, shut the GD door, would you? I can't afford to run the AC all night. Sorry, Harry. Oh, it's you two. Where have you been? Never mind. Listen, I can't keep this place open through the small hours of the night just waiting for you musicians. It's lonely, doesn't it? Yeah, kinda. How about some music? There's nobody here to listen to it. I can't pay for... We brought some people, Harry. A crowd is forming. Yeah, but also Don't you want to hear some music, Harry? That does sound nice after the day I've had. But Oh, they both make noise. They both make, like, robot noises when they move. And I think this is just a song. How's it looking out there? How are y'all feeling tonight? Harry. Can we get a bit more reverb in the monitors? Harry, just a soundboard behind the bar. How's that? Test, 1 1 1 3 50. Lamentation. Sounds good. How's everybody doing? Anybody had a real bad night? Conway. How about you, old man? Yeah, real bad. We'll try not to make it too much worse. This is a song I heard in a tavern many years ago at an open mic night. Me and Johnny were out just riding around, you know. Like to drive around, old man? That's my job. Of course you do. So we were out riding around and passed this gaudy old tavern. I mean, it was a real dive. Busted up facade, weeds in the parking lot, taps all dry, bats in the bar room, run by this creaky bag of bones. Looked like the only thing keeping him awake was the fear of death. So glad to be back here at the lower depths. Hey, now. So we stopped for an early drink, and there was a lady singing right here on stage, and the song she sang, well, it stuck with us, and now it's a regular part of our repertoire. Never got that lady's name, but she seemed like a sweet gal, and she had a voice like Scotch whiskey. We just hope we do her song justice. So here it is. Too Late to Love You. When you left me, I never should have met you. I wish we'd met before. Oh. When you left me. hurt you left behind. Never thought I'd miss you as long as you were gone. Now let's go as long as you were gone. Thought that somehow love would find a way. There were months I wish you'd come back every day. After years, I know that I'm bound to my fate. Let's go with that first one. Whoever they got to sing that lady has some pipes on her. She can really sing. Well, hope you liked it. I've heard it before. I don't doubt that. You look like you've spent an evening or two in a grimy old tavern. Listen, we appreciate you folks sticking around for the show. There's nothing more wretched than playing sad songs to an empty room. We've just got to get our fee from Harry, and then we'll get you headed to the, Zero. Well, Harry, I think that went pretty well. I'd say the crowd was into it. Reverential. Wrapped. I guess the usual fee is about right. I'm gonna let you get back to your business. Well, that's just the. Damn it, I was trying to tell you to. I can't pay. They cleaned me out. I've got nothing left but a GD IOU from the distillery. An IOU. Yeah, I traded them for some whiskey. And I guess I had some surplus credit, so I got this note to get some more from them later on. Must have been a hell of a trade. I had to. Gotta keep this place open somehow, god damn it. Watch your language, Harry. Did you pay them with your IOU? Well, very contemporary, very astute. How about it, Harry? Let's push some paper around. Well, it's just I could collect on it here when they bring more whiskey up. But for you to cash in, you'd have to go down to, you know, down to the distillery, down to hard times. And you've got to take the zero. So that's what we'll do. How do we get there? Are you folks sure you want to head down there? I've never been myself, but people hear things, rumors. Do you know another way to Dogwood Drive? Dogwood? Got a letter, did you? I've got a stack of them. Well, okay. Sounds like the zero's your only course now. Harry, you're alright. If only. You got a radio in your car? Yep. Well, here's what you've got to do. Take a left out of the parking lot and then just fiddle around on your dial until you hear something familiar. But, I mean, familiar, but strange. You know the feeling? Like, I used to go hunt with my uncle out in the mountains, and now I watch these nature programs. They're filmed in the mountains. There's the deer, and I know all the plants and every kind of tree. But something just doesn't look right. And it's even stranger for being so close to familiar. Something like that. You'll know it when you hear it. Fix that strange but familiar station on your dial. Drive for a bit, and then turn around when the station cuts out. I mean, right then. Hope you folks find what you're looking for. Eventually. Always a pleasure, Harry. Sardonic. Is it? This station doesn't quite match that bartender's description. Definitely weird, though. Let's keep scanning. He said we'd know it when we heard it. Hmm. What's this station? I've never heard this before. Sounds like horses. Horses running? A race? Charlie and I used to go to races sometimes. Charlie, he was your boss's kid, right? The one who, yeah, must be some memories there. Well, that fits familiar but strange for me. Harry said we should just drive until it cuts out. Horses. Hall of the Mountain King. Act 3, Scene 5. Hall of the Mountain King. What do you suppose happened here? Old and rotted, maybe? Some kind of storm washed it away? Doesn't seem much weather down here, though. Time to cut him loose, ma'am? Well, now I'm having fun. Ha, okay. Slow night anyway. Bridge ends abruptly, crumbling in disrepair. Oh, the boardwalk. A loop of decayed rope is coiled on the banister. Some rotted sections have been smoothed over with a fine dust. Computers! Broken computer monitors are heaped precariously among the rocks. Pet carrier. Pet carrier for a cat or small dog has been left by the path. A calcified rag wadded in the corner may once have been a blanket. A hiking backpack leans against a rock. It's empty except for a dusty bag of cat food and a few punch cards. Fire. A pile of discarded electronics burns steadily in the center of the chamber. Amy. Oh, it's triangles within triangles down here. Shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. Shannon, you're here to steal back the love of a boy you once knew when you were too young to recognize the movements of the heart. Conway, you're escorting her, pretending to have her interest at heart while really... Junebug, really, you're in love with the young woman as well, so you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections. It's just a ploy to set him up for embarrassment and diminish him out of the picture. I'm into it. Well, maybe I still have the knack. I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published, from The Billionaire's Bidding to Fields of Longing. Real hot, bodice-ripping stuff, you know? I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Just me and my thesaurus steaming up the windows. Why'd you stop writing? You know, suddenly it was all computers everywhere you went. Thought I might be able to do something with that. Inject a little libido into those ugly beige boxes. Ha! So I went back to the university and I studied human-computer interaction. And then I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester, debugging. Now, Donald was the other person mentioned with Joseph and Lula. In my off hours, I played around with the Doom love story at the core of our little simulation. That seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. I'm afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex. Now our work is never done. We don't even have to add any new functionality. The bugs just grow on their own. Too complex. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Donald puffs on a smoldering pipe while half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Softly, where the old green river runs, through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? Sorry, did we startle you? I might say you did. I thought you might be one of them. Oh, no, you can't be. We've been patching all their spy holes. We keep the lights dim and the motors running softly, and we route the smoke out through... out through... That is... What were we talking about? Hold on a second. Let me adjust the gram cam. Aw, look at you, buddy. Good boy. What's that computer over there? It looks pretty vintage. It looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat-up mainframe from a university basement and left in this cave to rot. Or to flower. I'm gonna turn Graham's camera off for now. No, it's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively, and in some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. And that's to say nothing of the software, but Shannon, you look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffuse-based transistor circuitry? The mold would burn up. Exactly, it burns. And oh, the sweet smoke that issues from it. But it also leaves a sticky residue to seep through the machine, forming new connections and creating new circuits. The computer is no longer the pure domain of language or mathematics, but entropy. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on this derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kings. But we are mere tourists in the ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels. Boundless and bare, caves stretch far away. We are too late. Always too late. What? Did you say something? I'm just interested in the mold computer. The mold computer. Oh, Xanadu! You've heard about it. Perhaps you've read about it in a journal? It's been years since I published anything. Xanadu has evolved significantly since I explained its data structures in my article, Literary Multitudes, Hypertextual Narrative as Post-Structural Witness. Evolved, and then deteriorated. Donald sighs dramatically and takes a puff from his pipe. I'm afraid you were too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on the circuitry, Xanadu blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted. Then, all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something and then sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruin? I drive Conway. I drive deliveries for a small antique shop, and we're closing down. I fix TVs, and I'm about to lose the lease on my workshop. My family disappeared. Julian and me don't know what to do. Not really. I'll go with Ezra. So, wandering without the ones who give us purpose. Like a ghost. Well, I have my own ghosts, and I keep them in there. In Xanadu. It's running on that glorious dusty machine. Take a look if you'd like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyway. Far too late to do anything. Andrew. Do you know that when I first... No, I mean, if this cave were larger, could it... No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got it. How would you characterize this space? The one we're standing in now. It's a mess. Catastrophe. Or the site of some ancient catastrophe, anyway. Sure, the evidence is all around us. What's burning on that fire? Mysterium tremendum. Sends the shadows scattering, momentarily lights the mouths of unseen tunnels. That fire is constantly reshaping my... Close your eyes. Will you close your eyes? Okay. Good. Now, we're standing at the top of a rocky peak. Tongue of flame licks the the shadowy anatomies of... Where are we? Oh, here again. How disappointing. Sorry to, disappoint. No, it's my fault. I shouldn't be so attached to the future. It's always getting in the way of my work. Better to be in the moment, carefully observing and documenting, with no attachment. Let me give you an example. I was a grad student studying statistics when I started working with Donald on his project. He said we needed someone with a more analytical mind to do the descriptive writing, someone who would appreciate the cave descriptions as real labor, instead of taking their authorial voice for granted. Donald warned me it would be long hours of typing painstakingly detailed descriptions into the computer. And I've put in the hours, believe me. I've put in the hours. I've described every facet of this cave in such detail that sometimes I don't know if I'm reading or looking, writing or exploring. Often, in the dark and lonely moments, I worry that in my sleep I've transcribed rooms from my dreams into the system. How would we know? They could only be entered with precise, faithful detail. That's all I know how to write, and all I dream about is caves. I only dream of caves. Let's go to Xanadu. A massive gate constructed out of scavenged materials blocks passage down the far side of the spire. Hold on. My air conditioning was a bit loud, so I turned it off. Roberta. Oh, look at you, Graham. Yeah. Kingdom is in peril. Roberta laughs. Well, what else is new? Where's the kingdom? You're in the throne room. There are 3 legendary treasures hidden throughout the castle that will restore these ruins to their former glory. What do they look like? She's messing with you, kid. Roberta laughs. Enchanted jewelry, talismans, a magic mirror that prevents the future. Prevents the future? A magic shield that protects the bearer from age. A magic chest that's always filled with... I never went to the university. I was an independent scholar. It means I took to the public libraries like a beachcomber. I studied fairy tales. Then I came to work for Donald. I paid the bills, rubbed leathering elbows with academics, scraped black mold from cave walls. Finally now, I carry the firewood into senescence. The kingdom is in peril. Xanadu. How do you think we get it started? This old thing? Maybe there's a hanging crank around. Oh, it has a run key. No, Graham. Such a good boy. Act 3, Scene 6. Xanadu. At Den of Argo. Xanadu, you are at the Ha, this thing is in rough shape. Do these switches do anything? Try blowing out. Let's try blowing out. Conway blows some dust off the keyboard and presses the return key. Xanadu. Okay, that's worse. Try typing. Oh, kind of looks like a house. Type house. Typing house. That's in bled. Wait. You are in the east west. Them everywhere. Wolf and Lula remove the creatures they were carrying on their back. That's so everything's in the time for some percussive maintenance. Conway thumps the side of the machine with his palm. Oh, I have my portable Gausser with me. Old systems like this one can build up a remnant magnetic field that sort of warps everything along whatever pattern it settles into. You know? Gausser clears that up by suddenly shaking the magnetic field around until it's uniform again. That's how I like to think of it anyway. Like shaking a snow globe. Worth a shot. All of the Mountain King. After what would be tunnel and well, okay. Well, oh God is where you set up your premature end of file. Press any key to quit. This is a lost cause. What a piece of junk. Well, okay. Act 3, Scene 7. Hall of the Mountain King. Bizarre. What was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. To Donald. So, you've seen it for yourself. What's left of it? Pretty busted. Chalky bones of a beautiful dream. But you can see what it once was, can't you? Can't you? There was so much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory, exhaustively simulated parallel cave ecosystems, real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms. The birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions. The bats could learn to sing. And then it began to crumble when the strangers came. First, we only heard them, walking heavily through the caves, dragging things around, hammering and clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard working songs, never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordlessly in the tunnels. Then we caught a glimpse of one. What did they look like? They look like... No, it's too horrible. I shouldn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous. They're strange. I should have never tried to outwit them. I should never have tried to outwit them. They were always too much for me, but it's too late now. If I listened to Lula, Lula? Lula Chamberlain? Yes, of course. Oh, do you know her? How do you know her? It was a long time ago. All this you see, just look at it. No, she's gone now. She left. We built this together, did you know? Lula, Joseph, and I. Lula is gone from here, but Donald points across the cave with his pipe. Still in there, in Xanadu. Don't know where Lula is now, or how to get there from here, or how to unwind that damn tangled highway, but Xanadu, before its ruin, was faultless as an oracle, shrine to perfect simulation. Till... maybe. Those weird interlopers destroyed my Xanadu. Perhaps they know how to fix it. It may be dangerous. I've spent many eager seconds to negotiate with them, to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Push back the vines. Crawl out into the darkness. Watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands and knees. from rock to crystal and then to mud. Then you'll be out. That's where strangers come from. Now leave me alone. I still have a bit of mold in my pipe and a few dreams left. Act 3, Scene 8. Where the strangers come from. Ooh. Oh, yeah, this place. I remember this. Beautiful. You still there, Doc Nozzle? I take it from your non response that's a no. Oh, well. Well, this can't be right. Looks like an old church. Worth a look inside. I guess. I want to stay outside. Okay. I'll stay with him. We can look for lizards. Okay. We'll make it quick. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Engraving. Crystal Bellevue. Generous disposition. Will be missed. Below the inscription, a note is written in white chalk. HT8191T. Fill date June 29th. Lots of notes of almond. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Engraving Rich Bailey and Calvin Johnston. We think you two would really have liked each other. Below the inscription, a note is written in white chalk. HT8192B. Fill date July 24th. Weird finish. So, go. Like they're eating them or something? Fill date. Find any lizards? I wasn't really looking. Nice cover story, kid. Why do you dress like a punk? Punk? Now, what's a punk dress like, kid? Can you tell me? I dress like Junebug, specifically. I want to be specific. I think you are. It's the middle of the night, and here you are in a graveyard. Any other kid your age would be in bed. You've just got to make choices and own them. You think I was born this foxy? I came off the assembly line about a half foot shorter, and all gray. No eyes. They were going to have us clearing out the old mine. Doesn't matter what you look like under all that rock and water. A bunch of gray shadows shoveling and hammering invisibly at the walls, draining the tunnels. Johnny found some gear, an old tape player. We hid away in an underwater cave, and I listened to it over and over, and we knew we weren't miners. We slipped out onto the road, just these two featureless shadows, and ever since that night we've been detailing, coloring in, specifying. Feel more like myself every day. I feel less like myself without my folks. Sure, some people are born into a family. Nothing wrong with that. There you are. What'd you find in there? It wasn't. Hey, what's going on? You look flushed, old man. It doesn't matter. Right, okay, we got what we need. Let's go. Act 3, Scene 9. Hall of the Mountain King. To Xanadu. Yeah, just going off. Build date with taste. Based on what they've been saying, it sounds like they were using the remains as like flavorings for. I'm gonna say whiskey just based on what's been brought up. Some Soylent Green shit. Baffling control panels are sheltered from the elements with worn tarp. Closet-sized wall of knobs and wires looms behind the machine, humming faintly. An electric typewriter is the only easily recognizable component. Oh, I guess we go to Donald. Donald, singing softly. Trace an orbit round the road, and close your eyes with holy dread, for we on mold and whiskey fed, and drank from rivers down below. We found your strangers. We know how to fix your damn machine, but I'm not sure it was worth it. Oh! Soon the visions will return. What have you found? They say you need to type in a specific phrase to restore. They said you need to unplug it for a while. They said you need to scrape the mold off the timing crystal. But the mold, of course, too much mold on the timing crystal would send the simulation adrift. Each moment lived out of sync. By all means, yes, clean the timing crystal. Alright, let's fix Xanadu. Do you see anything that looks like a timing crystal? Yeah, right here behind the control panel. It's filthy. Right, we're supposed to scrape off this black moldy stuff. Weird. Just following instructions. Here we go. Act 3, Scene 10. Xanadu. Xanadu. At end of road. You are standing at the end of a road before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. Check out the building. Typing. Enter building. Inside building. You are inside a building, storage shed for the National Park Service. There's a sensible, modern electric lantern nearby. Get the lantern. Get lantern. Taken. Exit building. Enter forest. That's not something you can enter. Just type a direction. Typing north. In forest. Okay. You are in open forest with a deep valley to one side. Can we climb a tree? Climb tree. I don't think much is to be achieved by that. Sorry. Head back south to that building. Typing south. You're in forest. Hey, it's a maze. South, east, north, west. West? Typing west. You're in forest. Lula is here, soldering replacement components in a small, handmade radio. Oh, we should talk to her. Typing, ask Lula how she is doing. Hi, Donald. I'm getting the strangest interference out here. I've been tuning the radio's circuits gradually as we go, swapping capacitor values and tweaking resistor networks. It was working for a while, but everything I could pick up sounds so distant and muffled. Lula hands you the radio. Well, maybe you'll have better luck. You're good at this stuff. Just don't forget to give it back. North? North. You're in forest. Joseph is here, tapping with a small stylus on a modified pocket braille slate. A small gray kitten, no more than a few weeks old, dozes comfortably on top of his backpack. Maybe he has something to say. Listen. Donald, I was just transcribing your footsteps. Sounded like... Joseph runs his finger along the index card he's been tapping on from right to left. Long, weary song, drearily gone, dearly gone. You beat a melancholy shuffle through these woods, Donald. Ha! I've been noting down the sounds of the forest with an ear for speech and an inborn filter for poetry, I suppose. So maybe it's me being melancholy after all. I'm eager to see what the poetic subsystem makes of these punch cards. East? At edge of hole. You are at the edge of a massive hole. The dirt gives way to rock as the ground sinks into darkness. The computer tied to your upper back slickens with sweat in the afternoon sun. The rope slung around your shoulder has slipped under the strap of your backpack, digging uncomfortably against your collarbone. Go down into the hole, that seems pretty obvious. Go down into the hole, that seems pretty obvious. Down. Xanadu, the cave walls are too slick to climb safely without assistance. You lose your footing and fall to your death. R.I.P. Your score was 0 out of a possible 8,192. What? You may continue or quit. Let's continue. Edge of hole. Shine the lamp into the hole, or try using the rope. I rope to a tree. The rope is tied snugly to a tree trunk. Down. Your feet slip a few times on the slimy rock, but you remain stable. Lula and Joseph descend carefully after you. In bed quilt. So beautiful. They got these weird, like cathode ray almost graphics. Or maybe that looks like an oscilloscope. You were in bed quilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Joseph and Lula remove the computer equipment they are carrying on their backs and begin setting up. That's the last trip, so everything's down here now. Say something back to her. Say something back. You make an awkward joke. Don't be so morbid. Lula looks pensive. Ask her about the cave. Typing ask Lula about cave. Having second thoughts? I don't blame you. It's unsettling down here. Weird acoustics. Earlier, as we were climbing down, I thought I heard voices for a moment. Or, not voices themselves, but the echoes of voices. Singing. Some kind of eerie, tuneless working song. I'm glad I'm not down here alone. What's the gear they're carrying? Ask Lula about gear. Sure, Donald. We may as well take inventory. Got the tape machine and the synthesizer parts we borrowed from the School of Music. It's all tuned up to my voice so he won't have to type so much. Joseph has his slate and the punch cards he's transcribed from the poems we read him. He's got the typewriter and the paper tape reader. And you've got the CRT display. How's your back holding up? Joseph looks uncomfortable. Jealous. Hey Donald, can you help me wire up these generators? I'll assemble the synthesizer, but I could use some help with the serial interface if you have time. You hear an unfamiliar echo from a tunnel to the east. Maybe if we help Lula, she'll have some more to tell us. Typing, help Lula. Thanks, Donald. I can never remember which color lead goes to which pin. Lula begins unpacking a box of wires and terminals. Do you think there are paintings down here? Cave paintings, I mean. Maybe some old pottery shards from when the world was young and early men and women huddled in these caves to... Do you know, I think cultural fossils are the saddest fossils. Sadder than animal remains, I mean. We might come across a petrified mollusk or a partial dinosaur footprint and we say, there was a point of contact here where a body touched the earth, and maybe there's a little bit of evidential garbage. The life who owned that body never cared and has moved on anyway. And that's the end of it. But suppose I shine my lantern on one of these walls and I see a crude painting, thousands of years old, two men and a woman, charcoal and blood, on rock. Someone put that there to keep something on the rock after she passed. A hope, a relationship for a moment, a worry maybe, a regret. She made a painting to keep something alive for her, but like that dead mollusk and that itinerant dinosaur, she had to move on. Whatever it was is gone, and now we're looking at this painting, this dangling copy, with no original. You are interrupted by the ominous echo of a grating, scraping sound from the east, louder than before. What the hell was that? Hey, Graham. Oh, are you enjoying your nap? Yeah, you're a good boy. Let's check it out. In tunnels. You rush down the tunnel, with Joseph and Lula close behind. It got kind of intense back there. No wonder they're still thinking about it. The tunnel narrows, and soon you find yourself crawling on your hands and knees. Navigating the tunnel gradually becomes more awkward as smooth rock gives way to jagged crystalline surfaces. Scratches and taps echo from the end of the tunnel, some short and piercing, some slower and groaning as if dampened by water. The tunnel opens into a large room. In Crystal Room. You are in a large, irregular chamber. The walls, floor, and ceiling are covered with crystalline projections. Strangers are here, scraping black mold from the crystals. They look up when you enter. One of them seems about to speak. Finally! Let's listen to what he says. The stranger reaches for a box he's carrying and presses a plastic button. The box whirs to life, and a crackly voice blurts something unintelligible and slows to a deep gurgle. He looks at his companions momentarily in confused disappointment. Then he returns his awful gaze to you. Joseph flees through a tunnel to the north. Lula flees through a tunnel to the northeast. Follow Lula. Run north. Lula's headlamp scans across the northern passage as you run. Soft shadows loom perplexingly from floor to ceiling. You feel around to distinguish shadows from crystals, but eventually find yourselves cornered. You have hit a dead end. Who are they? Comfort her. Comfort Lula. You reassure Lula that the strangers are harmless. Are you sure? Maybe you're right. Sounds like they've gone back to work. Alright, let's try to pass them quickly now. Don't make eye contact, then we'll find our way back to the equipment. Yeah, I think those are supposed to be like the skeleton people. In bed quilt. You are in bed quilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Lula is here, panting for breath. Did they follow us? Where's Joseph? Search for him. Search. I only understood you as far as wanting to search. You have to be more specific. Down one of the tunnels. Search tunnel. You select a tunnel at random. Your lantern illuminates several sets of footprints on the moldy cave floor. They are impossible to identify. With the equipment? Search equipment. The various computer and audio equipment casts angular shadows into the tunnels as you scan slowly across the pile. Nothing. Joseph climbs down from the rope still tied above. That damn sound, those damn voices. I don't even know what direction I was running. I wove through that network of tunnels. I ran my hand along the wall, always turning left. But every turn and every rock felt the same. For all I knew, I was running in circles. Finally, I ended up here. And I hid. I panicked. I heard you talking, but I didn't think I could trust my senses. But listen, there's one thing I have to tell you. While I was out there, lost in the tunnels and caves, I came across the Zero, and I had no idea. It's like a real place. They pick up garbage, they deliver mail, they go to work and to church, but it has an awful kind of emptiness. Wandering through, I heard horrible echoes. Weird images got burned in my mind's eye. Television, a scarecrow, a crystal, a feather, a sandwich, a CRT monitor, bottle, an anchor. Lula looks down at her feet. What's up with Lula? Typing. Ask Lula what is up. Lula. Nothing. Just... Joseph, you sound... disturbed. Lula, you've heard the same damn stories I have. It doesn't matter now, damn it. I'm leaving. To hell with all of it. Getting back on track. We're so close. Divert Joseph's attention. You shout something at Joseph about the project you are working on together. You'll die in these damn cold caves. What about those men? You know they'll come back. Tell him we can hide from the strangers. Suggest finding a hiding place. You shout something at Joseph about going deeper into the caves. Did you hear their voices? They're not... They'll find you, but not me. I'm going back to the surface. Stop! Your stupid fight is ringing through the whole damn cave. Joseph is right. We can't stay here. I'm leaving too, but I'm not going back to the surface. I'm taking my station wagon and I'm heading down the Zero. Whoa, don't let her leave us here. Typing. Get Lula's attention. You plead with Lula about your continued collaboration. I'll send you this tape when I'm done recording. I'll put it in the mail, and then you can see what your damn machine does with it. Lula and Joseph have left. In tunnels. Abandoned by your collaborators, your confidants, your companions, the only two among your colleagues with whom you've ever trusted the gift of your friendship. Pretty thick. Sounds like Beardo had his heart broken. You wander the tunnels alone, dragging along the components of your unrealized masterpiece, combing the underground passages for a new site in which to realize your vision. Sardonic. Sounds like a genius. How do you mean? Vain. Vanity. Ain't it the truth? My Aunt Remedios, before she got into the whole ethnomusicography thing, she was a painter, mostly nudes and oil. She had this model, I'll never forget him. Big, classically physical guy. Looked like he was about to storm Troy. He made everyone call him the Colonel. Weaver and I saw this guy naked a lot. You couldn't help it. He was always posing somewhere in the house, chasing the light from room to room while Aunt Remedios made a sketch of his profile or worked on the right mix of pigments for his abdomen. The Colonel had this magnificent hair, long black hair that ran down just to the bottom of his shoulder blades. One evening, he was standing next to an open window in the back of the house. The sun was setting, early spring. I think it was kind of windy. Aunt Remedios was trying to get his hair right. She kept arranging it, like half in front and half behind, running over his shoulder and laying across his chest in this very specific way. But it itched him or something, and he'd do this weird, indignant shuffle thing, or the wind from the open window would push it around, or he'd start and turn his neck when Weaver or I ran by, and everything would be tangled again. The final product was a swirl of black lines billowing around the top of his neck. Weird thing is I don't even remember his face now. Just that black swirl. Probably the best one she ever painted. Hall of the Mountain King. After what may have been years, you stumble out of a tunnel into a cavernous open space. Stalactites adorn the ceiling like grotesques. In the center of the room is an enormous rocky spire. This is where you will set up your equipment and establish your legacy. Now is the time to continue your work. Research assistance, 0. Realism index, 37%. Romance index, 2%. Mold coverage, 0%. You may hire a new research assistant, assign assistants to a task, or sleep until tomorrow. I forgot about this. We're doing like a simulation game. Hire a new research assistant. Hire. Uploading job advertisements to University message boards. You have hired Rick, who studies library sciences. Assign assistants to a task. You may assign research assistants to debugging, transcription, or speculation. Debugging. Assigning available research assistant to debugging. Hire another one. No new applicants. Try again later. Sleep. Time passes. Rick identifies a bug with the oxygen level simulation, but is unable to fix it. Now is the time to continue your work. Mold coverage 8%. Hire. You have hired Amy, who studies human-computer interaction. Can I hire any more? Sign. Transcription. And assign one to speculation. Sleep. Time passes. Amy carefully transcribes the sounds of dripping water in all their variations over a period of several hours. Rick posits that nature, not reason, is the master of industry. Greasy black mold is collecting on the computer equipment. Hire a new research assistant. You've hired Weaver. Hey, Weaver, who studies mathematics. Let's assign 2 to debugging and 1 to transcription. Time passes. Rick widens tunnel slightly to reduce the need for extra crouch commands. Weaver makes adjustments to the echolocation algorithm. Bats now fly normally instead of getting hung up on each other's wings and clustering together like horrible, leathery tumbleweeds. Amy summarizes the migratory patterns of bats through the tunnels. Intruders! The strangers are doing something to the equipment, but you can't make out what. You hide behind a rock until they leave. With trepidation, you emerge from your hiding place hours later. Now is the time to continue your work. I'm not convinced this is getting us any closer to the zero. Realism index 77%, romance index 10%, mold coverage. Hire a new research assistant. You've hired Roberta, who studies fairy tales. Let's assign 3 to speculation and 1 to debugging. Sleep. Time passes. Amy fixes some weird math with some weirder math. Roberta discards centuries of exhaustive data on the uniformity of cause and effect. Weaver muses about the love lives of fungal colonies. Rick makes a convincing argument for the edibility of stone. Weaver follows the strangers into the tunnels. He doesn't return, but neither do they. We've hired Greg, who studies architecture. Let's see if we can quit. I want to keep playing. Okay, sure, we can keep playing. Sign. Let's stick 2 on transcription duty. 1 to debugging. And then 1 to speculation. Time passes. Amy fixed bugs. Roberta extensively notates tunnel diameter as a function of length. Greg types up some lurid imagery from a dream journal. Rick had ideas. Greasy black mold is collecting on the computer equipment. Now is the time to continue your work. Maybe we should try to start over or something? This doesn't seem to be helping. Hire a new research assistant. You have hired Marianne, who studies fine art. Oh, Marianne, the receptionist from the government agency. Debugging. Let's stick all 5 on debugging. Greg fixed bugs, Marianne fixed bugs, Amy fixed bugs, Roberta fixed bugs, Rick fixed bugs. Mail carrier on bicycle brings you a sizable bill from the power company. Mold coverage, 29%. Okay. Amy transcribed experiences, Roberta transcribed experiences, Greg transcribed experiences, Marianne had ideas, Rick had ideas. Intruders. Strangers are doing something to the equipment, which you can't make out what. You hide a rock until they... Yeah. Mold coverage, 0. Let's... Come on, kid. We've got stuff to do. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes. That was a rhetorical question. Quick game? I only understand you as far as wanting to quit. Maybe we have to lose or die somehow in order to start over. Smash the computer. Smash the computer. Violence isn't the answer to this one. I guess we can keep playing. Now is the time to continue your work. Hire another research assistant. You have hired Andrew, who studies statistics. Let's stick 1 on debugging, 2 on transcription, and 3 on speculation. Maybe we have to wait it out. Typing. Wait indefinitely. Time passes. Research assistants come and go. You don't encounter the strangers again, but sometimes you can hear the uncanny echoes of their voices. Off in the tunnels. Years pass. Mold accumulates. You and the remaining research assistants take to burning disused equipment in the center of the room. The black mold is intensely flammable and makes an excellent catalyst. It leaves behind a sweet, narcotic perfume. One night, you have visitors. Outsiders. Different ones. Then later that night, an old friend, Lula, who really did go deeper into the caves. Premature end of file. Press any key to quit. Huh. So, given where we are now, I'm definitely going long tonight. We're at an hour 52, and we're not through Act 3 yet. Act 3, Scene 11. Hall of the Mountain King. Lula to Donald. You really did go deeper into the caves. Well, you were easy enough to find. I've met a few of your former assistants. One can't help but hear things. This is what became of our project. Oh, I've made some additions. Joseph stole the data tapes for the first half, so I've had some blank spots to fill. Yes, I know. He published his version, actually. I'm sorry to report that it's a bit tediously sentimental. We've been looking for you. So you found the address data? Just pass it over to Donald here. Donald, will you be a dear and crunch these numbers? Looking to sort out a street name collision. Dogwood Drive. Isn't the Bureau going to process it? I insist. I have cycles to spare. I'll just pack my pipe and get to it. I should only be an hour or so. Angela will carry it over too. I'll be at the Bureau for the rest of the night. Just mark it private materials for the attention of Senior Clerk Chamberlain. How do we get to the Bureau from here? The bridge. Yes, the bridge. Through the gate over there. Sentimental. Now we, too, proceed into history. Good night, Donald. Shannon, meet me at the Bureau and we'll get you on your way. Head counterclockwise to the cathode ray, then turn around. Then it's just clockwise until you find the Bureau. Quietly. Between us, I think you should try. Gate is open. Let's go down. Tape recorder. Was this here before? Someone has left a portable tape recorder on the path. It doesn't appear damaged, but there's no tape to play or record. Bookshelf. Bookshelf was carried only partway up the path here before the project was abandoned. Still useful. Peek at the spire is crowded anyway. Man. A sensible, modern electric lantern has been left here. Batteries have long since died. Let's talk to Blue. Thanks for waiting, Blue. You were gone a bit longer than expected. Ran into some trouble, Blue. I won't lie to you. Johnny! What happened up there? I'm actually not sure. Very mysterious, ma'am. Alright, let's hit the road. It's time to go. Alright. Wait. She said counterclockwise until we got the cathode ray. Okay. I was just checking because if you don't meet Carrington, the final interlude is missable. I mean, it's apparently very easy to get. Act 3, Scene 12. I just wanted to make sure that I'd gotten it because I Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces because I guess I was supposed to go with meet Carrington at the mine and I didn't do that. Got the time, Blue? Hey, see that cat over there? Think she'd eat some bread? Maybe we should leave a crushed food behind and she'll go for it when she's comfortable. To reception. Oh, Lula. Here you are. Marianne has the rest of the evening off, so I'm minding the desk. Any word on the address? The results just came in by courier. Good news. Donald and his assistants were able to sort through the noise. I had Rick cross-reference their results against some of our records. Found a corresponding mail stop on the Echo River route. As it happens, the night ferry is scheduled to make its stop here shortly. The ferryman carries the mail and collects the garbage as well. I'm sure you can catch a ride out that way. You're welcome to wait here. I have to get back to packing. You going somewhere? I might. Feeling impulsive, and I'd like to be ready. Maybe back to Mexico. It's been years. They still have one of my sculptures in a museum down there. Did you know? Big, ugly iron thing. Time to have it scrapped anyway. Safe travels. Try to stay out of the water. Colder than it looks. And deep. How long do we have to wait? Oh, who knows? Alright, what happened? What? In the church at the graveyard, you two came out of there all weird. What happened? It's okay. You can tell them. It doesn't matter anymore. Fine. So we were in that graveyard. Act 3, Scene 13. Where the strangers come from. Well, this can't be right. Looks like an old church. Muddy. Yeah, that's what he said. Crystals and then mud. Okay. I want to stay outside. Why? I think I saw a lizard. I'll stay with him. Okay, we'll make it quick. To the church. Floor. The church floor is cold metal, scuffed and flexed by unknown boot heels. Still. Handmade apparatus for the production of moonshine, assembled from scavenged metal and natural materials. I guess we sit. I don't know what I expected. The strangers, he kept saying. Kind of vague already, isn't it? Isn't it? Donald's a stranger. Hell, you and I are practically strangers. Listen, earlier in the mine, I didn't want to talk about it, but you don't have to talk about it. No, it's okay, I want to. When I saw Weaver, she was on TV. I was testing a pretty simple tube repair, flipping through channels to check the saturation, and she was just there. It was kind of horrible. I mean, I told you she disappeared suddenly, ran away, but you thought she was dead. Yeah, guess I don't like to say it. Dead. And then the next time I flipped to channel 2, Weaver. It's burned in my vision now. She's standing in a room. The walls are a blank kind of gray. There's tape on the walls, like markings on desks. Classroom, maybe? Camera's in the corner, so it's this sort of 45-degree angle into the room. And there's Weaver right in the center of the picture. Stop turning the dial. Hell, I think I stopped breathing. Eventually she spoke. But there was no real sound, just this awful hum. I read the closed caption. She said to go to the mine. I'd find something there. I can't remember her exact word. Whenever I try, I get distracted, fuzzy. Shannon coughs into her sleep. It's so dusty in here, right? Yeah, real dusty. You'd think with all these holes in the ceiling. What the hell was that? Did you hear that? Must have been the church settling. Let's step. Skeletons. Oh, I'm playing as him now. Visitors. The stranger activates the tape player slung on his shoulder. Crackly drawl echoes in the room. He's patient. It sounds like it should be smile. Doolittle. My regrets. I hope I didn't keep you waiting long. We don't see a lot of foot traffic these days. I guess you're here about the job. I'm afraid we only have one opening at the moment. Horrible business. We're actually looking for some information about an old computer. Certainly. I'll tell you everything you need to know. I've only just met you, but I feel certain there's a place for you here. I'll just take you over to meet the dispatcher, show you the trucks, get you familiarized. We can converse as we go. Shannon to Conway. What is this place? Well, it's not an old church. No, I guess not, but still, it all has a kind of reverence to it. What's that smell? Like bread? Baking bread? Please, follow me. I have to ask you to step in here a moment. This is for your safety. And adjust your outfits just a bit. There's some protective headwear up on the wall back there. Please remove your shoes and eyeglasses. I'm not taking off my shoes. Oh, I understand. It's only a courtesy to... Well, do us a favor and put on the headwear anyway. Just this way. Wow, check this stuff out. It must be decades old, but it's in perfect condition. How do you think they keep it like that? Maintenance, old man. I bet it's someone's job around here. Probably hard to keep all the dust out. You know, underground. That's why I got into this business. Keep old stuff like this running. Seems like such a shame to let it just fall into ruin, you know? Take that computer back in the cave. Xanadu. Decades of engineering, thousands of years of mathematics and philosophy, all petrified into living stone. How could you just let that fall apart? More new arrivals this evening. Plenty to do. Got to relay the formula. What job are they working? I don't know that it's been settled just yet. See, sometimes we take on newcomers already in debt to the distillery. Oh, that's Pearl, and at least that's her dad. Yeah, it's the people at Harry's bar yeah, from the second interlude. We take on newcomers already in debt to the distillery. One of the foremen will find something for them to do. Chip away at their sum until it's all settled. That's what I'm doing here. Chipping away. That's what we're all doing. Yeah, I think that's Pearl, her dad, and Evelyn. Harry sold them all out to this place, which is Hard Times. We're at the Hard Times Distillery. Here's the fleet. oh, we just use these to get around internally. What do you do here? Oh, I'm a copywriter. Text on bottles and flyers, ad copy, that sort of thing. Discerning shades and heartsick lovers have long known the taste of Hard Times and held it in favor over all other spirits. That was one of mine. So the trucks are just east a ways in shipping. You can become acquainted with the dispatcher there. Give me a tap on the shoulder if you see something that catches your eye. Always happy to show off the facilities. Sublime machinery. Okay, let's just drive. I love it. They implemented driving AI. Distillation. Why are there coffins here? So I guess these are like before and after. The new casks look like they could be used for anything. Yeah, before they get all warped and stained. You really can't undo that, can you? No way to clean them after the aging process. I mean, it's a one-way street. So, yeah, they age their whiskey in wooden coffins with people in them. That's fucked up. The spirit's safe. Confidentially. Don't let them catch you looking too closely here. Not within our purview. What's it for? Keeps us honest in the eyes of the state. Well, in the eyes of the management, anyway. We keep pretty well out of view down here. Not much chance of being spotted by helicopter. Eh? But if the law came knocking, we could say we were logging and securing our virgin spirits. We could say. Marvelous engineering, though. Isn't it? Oh, what's up here? Computer. Please, don't touch a thing. Very sensitive devices. We're not even allowed to run the formula through them. What's the formula? Eh? Oh, the formula. Changed our lives. Once, years ago, we were as prisoners to the intricacies of our debts here. We'd have to account for everything on paper. Compounding interest by hand, reassessing amortization and leveraged asset distributions according to nightly merit decay. Then she stepped out of the dark cave to show us the light of the formula. She had a brilliant grasp of mathematics and a saint-like way of speaking right through the numbers. It's gotta be Weaver. Now we just plug our daily numbers into the formula and run it all through the adding machine. We occasionally suffer some surplus drift, but she instructed us on all the necessary adjustments. It was devastating to see our revered mathematician go, but she was needed elsewhere. Her legacy abides. So yeah, Weaver must have come down here, and it's just part of the the criticism of capitalism here. It's just everything is just fed through computers. It doesn't care. What do these computers do? Temperatures, pressures, wear, tear, acidity, supply levels, any and all attending numbers in need of crunching, and so on. Am I boring you yet? Are you simply dying of boredom? I myself can discuss this matter past sunrise. Ready to go? Of course. Let's move on. More of these old computers looks like about the same vintage as that stuff in the cave. How can you tell? Oh, I don't know this make or model, but you can tell. Check out these tubes. Nobody uses these anymore. I'm not sure where they'd even get replacements these days. It's rare stuff. Hey, is this like antiquing with Lysette for you? I probably sound kind of ridiculous, waxing out about vacuum tubes and oscilloscopes. It's good to have a passion. Yeah, I guess it is. Someday you'll have to tell me what yours is. The warehouse. Feel that draft of warmth? Like a summer breeze. This is the aging warehouse. It's heated artificially? 100% draws a lot of electricity to tame this cold rocky cave, I'll tell you that. Of course, we only have half our aging stock here at any given time. Most distilleries let their whiskey sit in casks through the cycle of seasons. In summer, the wood expands and the whiskey seeps in, picking up flavor. In winter, the wood contracts and squeezes the whiskey back out. Down here, there are no seasons. Each workday proceeds from the last in an unbroken chain of climate control. So, we make our own seasons. Each cask alternates in a weekly cycle between the cold ground upstairs and this heated warehouse. So, yeah, the graveyard is what they're talking about. Fuck. Aging. Malting and bottling. Labeler. This is where most of our staff ends up. What are they doing? Checking the quality assurance. We used to bottle everything by hand. These machines are marvelously effective. Made things a bit more complicated for the workers. After all, the distillery can't just fire them. How then would they settle their accounts? But there's nothing elsewhere to put them. There's nowhere else to put them. They keep an eye on things here. Can't be paid as much just to watch, of course. Well, that's progress for you. Wait, I don't know if I wanted to do that. Can I? No, I can't. Fermentation tank. Smell that? No mistaking it. Baking bread. Exactly. That's the work of our unique ingredient, the yeast. The story is that Mr. Bishop got it from a baker in Knoxville, in a little tin box. He was on the run, our Mr. Bishop, from the law. For a while he hid out in some muddy swamp, subsisting on live fish, but he always kept that little tin box dry, held above his head. Some among us have proposed that a bit of swamp water seeped in that little tin box, introducing a foreign element, giving our yeast culture the eccentricity for which it's so widely known. I think it was that baker in Knoxville. They arrested him years later for the possession of a controlled substance, life in prison, solitary confinement, no visitors, no windows, the day he died. Must have been a hell of a substance, eh? Asks. Here's the charring yard. Fits pretty well considering the smell. This is why they call bourbon a comfort food. Those are empty, right? What? Oh, of course. We don't really exhume them anymore. We tapped that source years ago. Is there anything to interact with here? No. But so they even admit, like, they used to just exhume bodies and use them. Oh no, we ran right through the pole. Wait a second. Is there anything over here? Punks. Thought you'd like to see the accommodations. We supply what bedding we can according to the formula. You sleep here? The commute would cut into our working hours, and we dearly need those working hours, some more than others. Why, I haven't seen the outdoors in... Myself, I'm focused. Well, shouldn't I be? I've got this figure to pay down. The longer I sleep, the more interest accrues. It's a sin to sleep freedom away like that. Of course, as a delivery driver, you'd be able to come and go a little. You're timed pretty closely, but you can still roll the window down. Maybe a glimpse of familiar silhouette on the side of the road as you pass. Shipping. Here it is. Now I have to ask, as a matter of course, what kind of experience do you have driving trucks? I drove deliveries for an antique shop up until this last run. Aha, precious cargo. You'll do just fine. You can drive safely, can't you? I haven't any doubt now. It's only after what happened with Miguel this evening. What happened with Miguel this evening? Well, the dust is still clearing, of course. Perhaps he closed his eyes a moment, or simply hit a curve too devilish. I do pity ill-fated Miguel. He was good company and slow to anger. But if we're speaking confidentially, well, with all that lost product to be repaid, bourbon and glass dashed across the interstate, and a few casks too, we're all just thankful he had no next of kin. So, let's see if we can ring up the dispatcher. Doolittle starts the truck and switches on the CB radio. A deep, monotonous voice drones from the dashboard speaker. 1020 on that load. Come back. Radio voice number 1. Up in the Hummingbird Cave. 1012, City Kitty. Doolittle into radio. This a good time, dispatch? We may have found Miguel's replacement. Thought you might like to get acquainted. 10-9, come again? Introduce yourself. Hello? Tell dispatch something impressive about yourself. You're very well regarded. I'm not really here for a job. I'm not 99 wheel holder, 99 wheel holder. Gotta pay the water bill. Ah, so I'm certain they'll call back before long. Let's take a look around the truck, eh? Headlights work fine, see? Do little fiddles with the controls. That's important. Most of your product goes out at night. You never know who you'll run into in the daylight. Dusk can be treachery misleading with all that indirect light. Magic hour, eh? Drivers sleep in the day then? Sure. Those that sleep. Miguel pulled extra day shifts when he could. Sometimes he'd help me, you know? Sometimes over in bottling. Shouldn't have been out driving at dusk. Weird shadows, soft light. Dangerous. Conway had to get off the highway. Too loud, too murky. He turned off into some gray cornfield in Indiana. Empties rattled under the passenger seat. Kept them over there so the smell wouldn't spread. That window was always open a crack. He had to pull over. He just needed a nap, even if he ran late. He was only human. He'd been out since the headlights were on. Didn't even stop for coffee. Cracked a beer at 3, eyes on the road. 4:30, he dodged some stray cattle. The headlights were coming back on. Rockford could wait. Early morning couldn't be much worse than late night. What could they care? He just needed a few hours. So, moving on. Control the wipers with this knob here. Little fiddles with controls. They seem to have a decent torque to them, eh? Can't say how they'd fare in an ice storm, but we must never delay a shipment. Better to assume the risk. You folks watch the weather closely? I wouldn't know it if I saw it. How many years of climate control? Have I mentioned I rarely, if ever, leave our facility? I wouldn't know the rain if it drowned me. They ditched class for the day to drive in the rain. It was pointless to stay. I'll review. He was a lost cause, and she didn't need it anyway. She was smart, bored. It was time to cut out. Shitty day for it, though. 83 and biblical flood. Went to see a movie. It was some anonymous swashbuckler film about real men and women. Real tights, real lips, fake blood. They brought a flask. They smoked cigarettes, drank awful hooch, whistled buckets of rain. She sang about someone who wanted once to have loved. Brown hair curled around her ear. She had a voice like Scotch whiskey. Poured another drink. And another, and another. He worried it was getting dark out. Then it was getting light out. They ended up in someone else's field. In someone else's car. An early morning joyride and a sunrise collision. He got on the bus, and he hiked back to his car. Sat in his car and went over some options. Chicago? Toronto? Barrow? Seemed like a bold and impulsive gesture at the time. As he pulled out of the parking lot, he removed his hands from the steering wheel for a moment and felt the car drift into a decision. Years later, he'd think of this as the moment he himself started drifting. A modest technology, but suited to the job, eh? Plenty good enough. Tires, Oh, sure, I know you'll want to look. Kick the tires, that's the thing we do, isn't it? As though our knees could exert the kind of force these tires see out there on the road. We're more likely to hurt ourselves. Isn't it the way, eh? Tires look fine. Oh, I'm sure. It wasn't the tires that failed our deal, dear Miguel. We are quite sure. Conway sat in a dim room full of folding chairs. The walls and ceilings were painted with old smoke. Someone read from the book. He drank coffee with a little sugar. He listened. The speaker listed all the things we tried. That we, most people in the room were probably there by court order, so he's an AA. A few others shared. They spoke in abstractions like a program of action, a good orderly direction, spiritual but not religious, religious but not spiritual. All the things we tried. Then it was over. They clasped sweaty hands through a short prayer and stepped back out into the morning. Knew it was time to hit the bar. It was good to get out of the heat, away from the mendacity. He settled into it. Someone else from the meeting was there, looking rough. He focused on the television. A nature show was playing, something about river dolphins. They cruised the Amazon, eating psychedelic frogs and having weird adventures. At night, they transformed into attractive young partygoers and wore hats to cover their blowholes. Now, what else can we show you? I guess the back's all that's left. Looks like it's just about ready to go out. We have some good, strong folks in shipping here, and you never need to worry about loading if you don't want to. Bit hard on the knees and back at our age, eh? Of course, you'll have to unload at the destination, but that's the job. And some drivers like the extra shift stacking and loading here. I shouldn't really do any lifting these days. I see. Well, surely we can spare a dolly and carrot strap for your health and safety. Conway woke up on baled hay. Everything was too bright. His head hurt. The usual. Lysette and Ira argued loudly just inside the open barn door. He wanted Ira to take him inside and shower, have some coffee, get to the job. Ira said there wasn't time. Conway was in no condition. It was an important job. They couldn't put it off. Ira said to let the deadbeat sleep it off and then send him back. He said Charlie could do the job. Conway stepped out of the barn, shielding his eyes. He tried to say something reassuring. He just sort of stumbled around it. Lysette looked away. Ira just spat and went inside to wake Charlie. Ira was a stubborn man. Charlie went along, and Conway drifted out again, and he didn't hear about the accident until months later. So, what's next? Radio. Truck's radio crackles back to life. Driver, come back. Ah, there's dispatch. Now, tell them about your experience. Tell them the truck's in good shape. Tell them you'll start in the morning. I really can't. Yeah, we've got to finish this delivery in a few. 10:33, dispatch. Got 2 black eyes and a flock of crocodiles. Come back. 10:4, back it down and prick your eyelids, driver. Come back, Clem. 10:4. Come back, wheel holder. Conway remained silent. Dispatch is addressing you. He's here, dispatch. Got your ears on? Good. Listen to this. Silence. So, I think that went well. Let's head back up to logistics and seal the deal, eh? And I've got one more thing to show you. Let's head back upstairs, eh? I have one more thing to show you. Wait. We only came here looking for some answers about this stupid moldy computer. Oh, the old man in the cave with the moldy computer. That black mold, it's drawn to whiskey. Feeds on ethanol fumes, you see. As we age the whiskey, some of it inevitably evaporates into the air. The angels share. It goes through the vents here and out into the caves. If we can scrape up that mold, we can usually apply some pressure and cold to it, squeeze and condense the angel share back into drinkable whiskey. Every drop counts when you're making a living on the stuff, so we'd go down and scrape it off his equipment, just like any other place it grows. He kept sending his people here to drive us away. Paranoid. Truly paranoid. Well, now we have the formula, so we don't need to go collecting mold. Since we stopped going down there, I'm sure the mold's gotten pretty thick. Try cleaning off the timing crystal. That'll get you going, I'm sure of it. So, join me upstairs? I think it's even further up. If you don't mind. Adding machine. Here it is, a beauty, wouldn't you say? It's an antique, you know. What is it? Why, it's an adding machine. This is where we come for our daily ritual. Calculate the day's interest repayment according to the formula. I usually do so at the beginning of my shift, but I know how many orders I need and how many hours I need in order to keep up. Yes, I believe you'll do well here, sir. Happy to have you. Congratulations, you're hired. Wait, we can't. It's customary here to start each day with a shift drink. Let's make it special. Mark the occasion. This is the top shelf stuff now. Single barrel. It doesn't. Down the hatch. Venum Memoriae Mors. Decent enough. Welcome aboard. It's not working for you. We have to get back to this. He has a delivery to make. What's this? Not working? Are you turning down this opportunity? She's right. I have to make this. I'm disappointed. And I'm afraid that leaves us with a delicate problem. As I indicated, this is the top shelf stuff you're drinking now. It isn't cheap. If it's not your first shift drink, well, there's the matter of this chore just now. My time and experience are billed at quite a premium. This is not good for you, my friend. You're in quite deep by my back of the envelope estimations. Well, we have that in common, I suppose. All of us. Yes, I'm afraid you'll have to work this off somehow. It's just the way of it. What's happening right now? You can start tomorrow. Take the time to settle your affairs. Of course, the interest begins to compound immediately and, well, we'll go over the formula when you get here. I should get back to work. See you tomorrow, then. So, I guess I start in the morning. Guess. I'm confused. It's just the way these things go, kid. Huh. Well, that still gives us a few hours to roam, right? Where's that ferry? And here it is. End of Act 3. Alright, so I'm going to power through and do Interlude 3. Here and there along the Echo. 270-301-5797. Oh, whoops. Oh, there we go.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism. For a menu of our resources, press 1. If you have an extension to dial, press 9. For more information about our organization, press 3. If you don't remember dialing this number at all, press 5. To hear these options again, press 0. So, you don't remember dialing this number. You just sort of woke up with the phone pressed to your ear, ringing on the other end. Or maybe you thought you dialed a different number, but your digits betrayed you. Or there's a faulty connection somewhere out there in that spiderweb lattice of phone cords that covers all of creation. It must be kind of a nice feeling, really. It's like you and I just bumped into each other in the street or a little cafe. Say, next time you meet a stranger, call us back at extension 7864 and hand them the phone. We'd love to get to know them.
786.
Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3. If you're holding a snake right now, press 4. To hear these options again, press 0. Well, if you're dialed into this here informational resource, then you're a certain kind of beachcombing, bat-calling sightseer. So let's take a driftwood inventory. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, perhaps it's the violent displacement of natural gases. Perhaps the river tilts to face the moon, slowly changing the angle of its surface over time. Some sailors blame corked rocks. Whatever the geological explanation, the islands of the Echo River are mostly transient, rising and diving on some inscrutable schedule. The following islands are presently underwater. The Green Island, island of 350 and 440 hertz. Fish jaw coral. This list is current as of now. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, press 2. For secret tourism, forgotten places are the vital spark. Take no pictures here, nor souvenirs. Write no travelogues. We will discuss these places now in vague and qualified descriptions.
I love it.
For the town with no roads to it, press 1. For the silo of late reflections, press 2. For the monument to something that we don't remember what it is, press 3. There is a town which has its own roads, but which no other roads connect to. They send and receive mail. There is a school, and so on. But what I want to tell you about now is the horses. There are horses living wild in this town. I forget how they got there. They don't stay in stalls. They sleep outside. They walk through the town, on the streets, or on the sidewalks, and the people of the town think of them as elegant, wordless neighbors. For a diver's guide to underwater islands,
Did I go
perhaps
through?
it's the violent displacement of natural gases. Perhaps the river tilts to face the moon, slowly changing the angle of...
Cool. Ready to go? Let's just take a minute.
The number you have dialed is not real.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide
This is an
to
actual
the
phone
Echo
number, by the
River
way.
for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
You can call this number.
For a menu of our resources, press 1. If you have an extension to dial, for historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. Well, if you're dialed into this here informational resource, then you're a certain kind of beachcombing, bat-calling sightseer. So let's take a driftwood inventory. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, for secret tourism, forgotten places are the vital spark. Take no pictures here, nor souvenirs. Write no travelogues. We will discuss these places now in vague and qualified descriptions. For the town with no roads to it, press 1. For the silo of late reflections, press 2. For the monument to something that we don't remember what it is, press 3. There is a silo so tall and strange that it can take years for an echoing word to bounce from bottom to top and then bottom again. If you wait patiently, you may overhear the conversations of earlier visitors. I once had an argument there with a dear friend, but I forget what it was about, and we haven't spoken since. Maybe I'll go find out someday. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, for secret tourism, forgotten places are the vital spark. Take no pictures here, nor souvenirs. Write no travelogues. We will discuss these places now in vague and qualified descriptions. For the town with no roads to it, press 1. For the silo of I suppose it must have been an important event if we felt we needed to commemorate it. The monument looks like it was a lot of work to put together. I wonder if it was a happy occasion, something we were celebrating and didn't want to let go of, or if instead it was something so horrible that we never wanted to forget it, for fear that we'd accidentally do it again. There isn't a plaque or anything. I guess we didn't think we'd need one. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, press 2. For restless places, press 3. For what little we know of the iron pariah, press 4. For food and for the cluttered place, press 1. For the flooding, there is a place always cluttered by debris floating along the water. Otherwise, it's unremarkable. In fact, the only way to find it is to notice that there happens to be more trash there than anywhere else around. I wonder why that is. For a diver's guide to for the cluttered place, press 1. For the flooding place, press 2. For a list of the places where people can't sleep, press 3. There is a place that regularly floods. I first saw this place years ago when an acquaintance of mine, an artist, built an installation there. The work was very complicated. All of her artwork is. I remember it was made from huge piles of recycled newspapers. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to complete it before the flood came and wiped it out. The next time I passed by this place, it was full of young men and women on bicycles. They'd built a track weaving through the soggy ruins of my acquaintance's flooded artwork. The rising water level quickly made it too dangerous to ride in anymore, and many bicycles were crashed and abandoned. The last time I saw the place, it had been repurposed to store handmade pottery earmarked for sale out of state. By the time I arrived, there was just a pile of ceramic fragments dashed by floodwaters against rusting bicycles and gray pulp. I've heard recently that this place has been reclaimed again. Surely this time, things will be different. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, for the cluttered place, press 1. For the flooding place, press 2. For a list of the
Love
places
this.
where people can't sleep, press 3.
So
People
cool.
can't sleep in the wet grass or on the bridges of New Königsberg. They can't sleep anywhere near Lake Lethe because it's too large. Nobody can sleep with their toes in the river because it's too cold. People can't sleep where I sleep because I'm all knees and elbows, and anyway, there isn't enough room for both of us. I'm not sure if anyone can sleep on the deck of the Mucky Mammoth, but I'm certain they can't sleep on the trash barge because of the smell. If you have anything to add, please call us back with extension 7360. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, press 2. For restless places, press 3. For what little we know of the iron pariah, press 4. For food and drink recommendations, press 5. To return to the main menu, press 6. To hear these options again, press 0. The iron pariah is just what she's called along the Echo River. Of course, she once had another name, but it's been scratched away, maybe out of shame? Or maybe she took a bend too sharply and left her true name on a rock. So, what else? We know she was in the war, but neither side would claim her. We don't know if anyone's aboard, She drifts along the water and commands a wide berth. Tourists, if you hope to document the Iron Pariah, I fear you will be disappointed. She has a beguiling way of vanishing from photographs. Steer to shore and let her be carried along in silence. Pilgrims, I wouldn't dare to interfere. For a diver's guide to underwater. For food, press 1. For drink, press 2. To return to the main menu, press 5. If you plan your journey along the Echo to be a slow and thoughtful one, you will surely want to eat. It's true, and even advanced preparation can still fail you. Maybe the food you've packed will fall in the water and be spoiled, or it could be stolen by a bat. Well, the water sustains all travelers. Catch it yourself in the river, or have something prepared for you at this place out on the lake. The restaurant is called, well, it's out on Lake Letha. It has to be out there where the water is deepest. If you go early in the morning, you might see the diver bring in his nightly haul. Weird creatures from weird depths, fish, crabs, jellies, things we don't have proper names for at this elevation. Sam and Ida's, that's the name of it. Sam dives, Ida cooks. Unique fare and uncommon conversation, to say nothing of the decor. If you do stop by, tell them I said hello, and that they're always in my thoughts and prayers. For a diver's guide to underwater. For food, the water is fine, but more adventurous tourists will surely be looking for stronger stuff. Move quickly along past any strangers with cheap bourbon flasks. You can get that hard times rot gut anywhere. If you're traveling by boat, you'll want the traditional seafarer's liquor. As it happens, there's a watering hole called the Rum Colony, wholly devoted to the stuff. You know, mixed with sugar and bright colors. I've heard it's excellent, but I never drink the stuff. I take my spirits clear. For a diver's guide to Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide, well, if you're dialed into this here informational resource, then you're a certain kind of beachcombing, bat-calling sightseer. So let's take a driftwood inventory. For a diver's guide.
Okay. That's it for that menu.
For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For different types of water, press 1. For the language of bats, press 2. For insect interactions, press 3. To return to the main menu, press 5. To hear these options again, press 0. The Echo River is best known for its plentiful waters, not their volume, but their diversity. There's surface water, deep water, big water, and small water. Water that moves quickly, slower water, water in a cup. There's the water you know about, the water you don't know about, and the water you only assume exists due to indirect evidence, like a rumbling sound behind the rock. Cool water, but also warm, and even warmer. Water that gets things clean, water that only makes things dirtier, water's both soft and hard. Water in living bodies. you come across any other kind of water, be very careful. Call us back and dial extension 0464 just to be safe. For different types of water, press 1. Many find learning the language of bats to be intimidating, but it's really pretty straightforward. The most difficult part is getting your ultrasonic pronunciation right. See, bats have enormous, complex ears. For us, it's more of a struggle. Here, let's try some useful phrases. Repeat after me so you can practice your pronunciation. Here's how you say, I don't know where I am. Okay, here's how you could ask, haven't we met before? Great. And here's how you say, sorry, I must have left it in the boat. Now, a very useful phrase. It's a shame we didn't record that. Every conversation has to end. So here's how to say, I will write that down in case I forget it later. For different types of water, press 1. For the language of bats, press 2. For insect interactions, press 3. To return to the main menu. If you stop your boat somewhere cool, you may find yourself swarmed by insects. You may swat at them or cover your face thinking they're all trying to bite you or buzz in your ear. But these insects are more interested in each other than they are in you. In fact, they've already forgotten you. They're back to chasing each other, breeding, competing over resources. Their minds are so shallow that while you've been standing there with your hands raised to your face, they've begun to think of you as part of the landscape, a funny-looking rock. This is what they sound like.
How long is this going to go on for? This has to end. I feel kind of overwhelmed now, you know? Too many options? I know. I just wanted to sit somewhere and draw or something. They mentioned a weird silo. How weird are we talking? I think I've heard about this. It's huge. Like, what did they ever store in this thing? Huge, you know? Worth a look. No, let's take a minute.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
I just love that they made this a thing.
For a menu of our resources, press 1. If you have an extension to dial, press 9. For more information about our organization, press 3. If you don't remember dialing this number at all, press 5. To hear these options again, for historical sites
Okay, let's
along
see.
the
What else do
Echo
we have
River,
here?
press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and
Done
fauna,
that.
press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3. If you're holding a snake right now, press 4.
Hmm.
To hear these options again, press 0. For a catalog of subterranean birdsong, press 1. For help identifying something that's happening in the dark, press 2. If you are hearing organ music, press 3. To return to the main menu, now I play you several recordings of Echo River birdsong. When you hear a song you want to know more about, just press 1. At any time, you can press 5 to stop. Ah, the lonesome teal. Ugly, spiteful little thing. The rock sparrow. Don't feed him. He'll come back with friends. You've got a gray-beaked grouse there. Not my favorite bird. That's a mourning hummingbird, so named because they bury their dead. That's just a pigeon. I believe that's a painted avocet. If you catch him, you can make a nice pigment from his feathers. The peat-breathed riverbill. Keep an eye on that one. They make their nests out of stolen jewelry. Ah, the lonesome teal. Ugly, spiteful little thing. That's the American gridpiper. Huh, I thought they were extinct. For a catalog of subterranean birdsong, press 1. For help identifying something that's happening in the dark, press 2. The wet, rocky contours of the Echo River make for sometimes baffling reverberations that turn mundane sounds into weird, rattling symphonies. Like that. It can be a challenge to pick through the clamor and recognize even something as simple as water dropping in a metal bucket, especially in the dark. Here are some examples. When you hear a sound you want to know more about, just press 1. At any time, you can press 5 to stop. And that was a canoe tipping over from several miles away. That was someone burning a phone book. That was someone tearing up an electric bill. That was a phone ringing underwater. That was a motorboat's propeller failing. That was dirt being thrown on the lid of a coffin. And that was a canoe tipping over from several miles away. For a catalog of subterranean birdsong, press 1. For help identifying something that's happening in the dark, press 2. If you are hearing organ music, press 3. To return to the main menu, press 5. Lucky you. Does it sound like this?
This is haunting. Cool, ready to go? Now let's keep going.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
Okay.
For a menu of our resources, for historical sites along the Echo River, press 1.
Already done that.
For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2.
Done that.
For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3.
Done that.
If you're holding a snake right now, press 4. To hear these options again, press 0. So, you're probably not in any danger, but why are you holding that snake? If you're involved in an exchange of some kind, press 1. If holding the snake is part of your spiritual practice, press 2. If you don't remember why you're holding the snake, press 3. To return to the main menu. Okay. What's the last thing you remember? Please describe your memory in as much detail as you are able, paying particular attention to any smells and sounds you may recall. Were you breathing through your mouth or your nose? What did the air taste like? And so on. Feel free to call again with extension 1618 and tell us the whole story. All right. Let's roll roll up our sleeves and get to work on this here snake situation. What you're going for is a kind of gestural conversation. Don't worry. I'll lead you two through it. Give that snake a name and look her right in the eyes and say her name. I'm going to go with Delia for the purpose of demonstration, but you pick a suitable name. Try to follow along with me here to the best of your ability. Delia, take it easy now. What if all of this is just a reflection of a reflection? Now hold the silence while she processes that metaphysical curveball. Okay, what's Delia up to now? If she's staring right back at you, press 1. If she's wriggling around, press 2. And if she's just kind of limp, press 3. Good. Now you've got her attention. Now, leading with your shoulder, slowly tilt your body to the left, always maintaining eye contact. Adjust your feet as necessary. You want to do a full rotation over several seconds. It's normal to feel a bit self-conscious. Try not to get tangled up in the phone cord, or next time plan ahead and use a cordless. All right, where are we at? If the snake is breathing heavily, press 1. If she's curled around your forearm, press 2. If her tongue is extended, press 3. Okay, I want you to tense your arm muscles and then relax them, one by one. Take slow, shallow breaths. Tense, relax, tense, relax. Try to focus all your thoughts on that blood coursing through your arm veins. Forget Delia is even there, just you and your blood. There you go. Delia should be in a kind of a calm, thoughtful state now, so you can move on. So put that snake in some grass or something. Let Delia be free like a snake should. And go ahead and wash your hands if you care to. I would. Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound,
Not yet.
hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
Love Bureau of Secret Tourism as a phrase.
For a menu of our resources, press 1.
I've done that.
If you have an extension to dial, press 9. For more information about our organization, press 3. If you don't remember dialing this number at all, press 5. To hear these options again, the Bureau of Secret Tourism is supported by a generous population of river creatures whom I fix up and grill as necessary. I am environmentally minded, and I believe all creatures are equally deserving of support in their transition to the next world. So I usually try to sing a little elegy like, small water creature, crab or frog, now you know that sleep is all around us, like a muggy, tranquil fog. Something like that. It's easier to come up with these songs when I'm hungry in a sort of transcendental fasting state, but I've actually just had breakfast. A debt of gratitude is also owed to the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces, who unselfishly and unknowingly donates this here telephone line for the purpose of this here informational resource. You can always find the latest secret tourism literature in any of our unmarked kiosks or any other old place it happens to lay. That's all I have to say about that. Hey, do me a favor. When you get a chance, call us back at extension 1928. You can press 0 now to go back to the main menu. Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and...
Not yet. I gotta put in extensions.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism. For a menu of our resources, press 1. Now is the time to dial an extension. Hello, stranger. What's the first thing you remember? When you're finished remembering, press the 0 button. Welcome home. For historical...
Alright, next extension. Okay, all this rigmarole again.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism. For a menu of... Now is the time to dial an extension. I just want to listen to the wind blow. Or even better, television static. Can you tune your TV to a dead station and let the static play into the phone? When you're finished, press the 0 button. Welcome home.
I'll do one more extension. Oh, well, they seem to be short. It's only a few minutes.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
Just leave it there.
For a menu, now is the time to dial an extension. All right then. Tell us why you can't sleep. When you're finished, press the 0 button.
Well, I mean, I can't sleep because I'm have to finish streaming this game for tonight. So I don't know how this helps. You can't respond. Two extensions left.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism. For a menu of our resources, now is the time to dial an extension. Found some weird water, huh? All right. We'd better catalog it. Hold the phone up to it for a bit, and we'll record it for later analysis. Press 0 when you're done.
All right. One last extension.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism. For a menu of our resources, now is the time to dial an extension. Something else shook loose. Well, how vivid is it? I mean, can you really smell it? Are you sweating it out now? Are your hands all damp, and when you brush your hair out of your eyes, it just tastes like... Listen, if your hands are damp, press 1. If your feet are damp in your socks, press 2. If you don't feel particularly damp anywhere, press 3.
I don't feel particularly damp.
Oh, everyone has a damp spot somewhere in their body or mind. That's what lets us sort of squish a little when we try to remember something. Muddy the details, right? Even if it's just that wet blood sloshing around in there. Your soggy heart, right? Let's hear all about it. When you're finished explaining yourself, press the 0 button.
Okay. That is it. Yeah, let's go. All right, and that is it for tonight. So thank you all for watching. I know this one was super long, longer than I was expecting, but that is Act 3 and the third interlude. I will be back next time on Thursday with Dark Souls 3. And next time coming back to Kentucky Route Zero will be next Monday. So in just under a week. So this stream has gone on long enough. I'm at 3.5 hours now. So I'm going to go. So thank you everyone for watching. Have a good night. I'll see you on Thursday for Dark Souls 3. Bye-bye.